What's kind of the matchup for you as a coach? Talk a lot about Crosby. You ever kind of come across him? Will it be somewhat neat to have him play for the team against yours, or are you just focused on your club?
No, I know about Crosby, how good he can be, and I saw him in the regular season. And obviously he's a good player. And then I saw him in the playoffs one year against Philadelphia when I was on the bench, and had a really big appreciation of how good of a player he is and how he elevated his game during that playoff series. And I saw it against in a playoff series against New York also, where they were kind of in control. Crosby got hurt, and New York came back and won that series. And obviously a really good player, and has the ability to step it up even when there's even more pressure.
You marvel at what he's been able to do, Crosby's been able to do at his age, and he's still playing at that elevated level.
Oh, absolutely. For this year, I think he's probably going to have second most goals in his career this season, and being able to do it at his age, and doesn't look like he's slowing down at all. And a lot of I'm very impressed with what he's done.
I know your captain takes kind of example from him, and I guess is how does seeing a guy like that kind of reflect maybe into your team and going, hey, this guy's still doing it at this age?
Well, those elite players, obviously they're very competitive, and they want to be the best, and they continue pushing themselves. And you can look at, yes, they're born with a lot of talent, but their work ethic and how much time and effort they put into their game, and even when they're at their best, the endless amount of hours that they still continue working on their craft. And it's they're good, but they always want to be better, and that's why they've had their careers that they've had.
Stuart's obviously giving you 3 pretty good starts here in a row. Just a thought, where do you think specifically the defense is? You've transitioned into a different type of D than they were playing before. They've now had you as coach for 40 games. It's not a type of D that some people think you play passively with it. That's not true. You don't want your defense playing passively. How do you think your 3 pairings are handling it right now?
I think they've been doing a pretty good job. And the defense, if they're going to have success, they need the support of our low forward. And usually that low forward's our centerman. And anytime they get exposed, it's a lot of the times it's our centerman being a little bit late. But as working as a tandem, they've been pretty successful with it. And I'm not sure what our defensive stats are as of late, how much time we're spending in the defensive zone. I know definitely during our winning stretch, the amount of time we spent in the D zone was probably number 1 in the league. A lot of that had to do with how well we moved the puck out, and we weren't stuck having to defend. But I think we've been talking about having those quick kills, limiting times in the defensive zone. The longer you spend in the defensive zone, you're going to have breakdowns. And so we don't want to be passive. We want to protect the slot, and that's where goals come, and that's the most dangerous part of the ice is. But we also feel that the more time you spend in the defensive zone, the more bad things can happen.
We know Pickard's starting, same lineup?
No. Derek Ryan is just going to be out tonight, just a minor injury. Should be back in for Boston, so Sam will play tonight.
Kris, when it comes, obviously this is a stressful time of year for a lot of people with the trade deadline coming up. How much communication is there between you and Ken, and talking about what you need and who's out there, what can get? Like, I know you have your own job to do, but when it comes to the deadline?
Ken is talking to numerous people, including myself, the assistants, the pro scouts, everybody, continually through the day. And, he'll get my feedback of what I think we need. And, after a game and we see weakness, that sometimes changes. But, we're talking quite a bit about what we need and how we think we can be stronger, and what, if we did add somebody, who would be, what the player's role would be. Does he move to a different wing, a centerman, all those kind of scenarios.
Considering the run that this team has been on since you took over, are you happy with your group if they just stood pat, or Or would you like to see an addition or two coming in?
I like our team. I think we're good, and obviously Ken knows a lot more than I do about what it takes to win in the playoffs. With his success and the amount of years he's been a general manager. Right now, I'm very proud of the team that we have. I like the way we play, and as for do we need additions, that's not for me to say. I like our team, but I think Ken has a good pulse on what it takes to win in the playoffs.